happen when it happens. When Trump has to appear, what will his supporters do? What about those against him? New Yorkers living near Trump Towers in Midtown or those living near Criminal Court in Lower Manhattan are on edge.
This is inconveniencing us. We're not sleeping because of all the helicopters.
I don't know if they're going to allow us to work remotely, but I'm concerned for my safety.
Trump previously asked his supporters to protest and warned of violence. A Manhattan grand jury voted to indict him on charges connected to the 2016 hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
You won't get anything out of President Biden. So far, he is not commenting on the history-making indictment of a former president. The current president gave reporters a no comment at all. Well, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who was black, made it clear President Biden had no advance notice about the indictment and found out about it on the news, like everyone else.
There is some reaction, though, out of the office of Manhattan DA, African-American Alvin Bragg. He has a word for Republicans. In a letter, he told the House Judiciary Committee that's demanding him to testify about the indictment. Bragg writes the committee is acting more like a criminal defense team for Trump rather than an objective legislative body. With this indictment, can he run again? An opinion piece in HuffPost says he's already disqualified under the Constitution for the January 6th insurrection. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment bars anyone engaged in insurrection or rebellion or who gives comfort or aid to insurrectionists. As far as criminal charges, some legal experts go as far as to say there's nothing that could stop Trump if he wins from taking his oath, even if it's from a prison cell.
We now know that white transgender woman accused of shooting up a Nashville school lost a black friend, died in a car accident. Bureau.com says the accused school shooter was reportedly obsessed with Sidney Sims, who they played on a basketball team together about 15 years ago, and was said to be devastated over Sims' death from a car crash last year. But the sister of the car crash victim doesn't want her sister's name or memory associated with the school shooter. 28-year-old killed by police gunfire after cops say she went armed to a Nashville private school she once attended and killed 6, including 3 children.
Maryland's first black First Lady is sharing something very personal. She has MS. Dawn Moore was diagnosed in her 20s. It's in remission now, but the 47-year-old mother of 2 and wife to history-making first black Governor Westmore is telling her story as a source of hope for anyone dealing with the neurological disease or any other disability. I'm Vanessa Tyler with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Time now for traffic and weather.
On the Bay Area's BIN 910.
Traffic is snarled 11 minutes on the San Rafael Branch 580 westbound between Richmond Parkway and the Toll Plaza. Over to Woodside 84 westbound between Portola Road and Fox Hill Road, still shut down for some pavement work. And the Bay Bridge, it's a 22-minute slowdown 80 westbound between the foot of the maze and the metering lights. You're also gummed up across the span. In Vallejo, stop and go 37 westbound between Wilson and the Lane Bridge, about 8 minutes there. And you're delayed out to Sonoma Raceway in stretches. San Francisco, a slowdown there of 4 minutes, 101 northbound between 3rd Street and the 101 80 split. Checking the area weather, say hello to the sunshine, but it's a little breezy and on the cool side. Our high 52 at the coast, 57 in Oakland, 54 San Francisco. West Bay Area traffic and weather, Jackson Summers on the Black Information Network.
I'm Tariq Lowe on the BIN. The source for Black News.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News. San Francisco's BIN 910. Veteran black Congresswoman Barbara Lee just received a huge nod from a major political influencer. NBC Bay Area reports Silicon Valley Congressman Ro Khanna has officially endorsed Lee in her bid for the U.S. Senate. Here's Congresswoman Lee as she addressed supporters in Oakland during her campaign kickoff speech not long ago.
Only 2 black women have served in the United States Senate since 1789. So when someone tries to tell me that a black woman of my age, with all the experience I
bring to the table can't win a fight. I just smile to myself and I say, watch me.
In his official statement, Connor wrote, quote, "I'm excited, proud to endorse my good friend Barbara Lee for U.S. Senate. Barbara is the progressive leader Californians need right now, and her solid record as one of Congress's most outspoken champions of justice speaks for itself." Rumors swirled around political circles in the Bay Area that Connor may run for the seat. With all the talk surrounding San Francisco's proposal to put $5 billion in reparations to black residents, the California State Reparations Task Force met up for a few days in Sacramento to finalize its recommendations to the state. The task force, however, will not submit suggestions on how much black California residents will get paid. Chairwoman Camila Moore said that responsibility lies with state lawmakers. I spoke to Moore exclusively about it.
We were required to advise the state legislature on the methodology around compensation, which means identifying who should be eligible. We pretty much made the argument that there's state culpability, thus there needs to be compensation from the state, in total valued at over $800 billion.
Moore said the advisory board also approved draft sections related to non-compensatory policy recommendations. The task force will meet again in May with the final meeting set for June 30th, one day before the deadline of July 1st. Another milestone as California bounces back from its driest 3 years ever. A new map update shows that more than half of the state is no longer in a drought thanks to heavy rain and historic snowfall. The number is now 45% considered abnormally dry. 7 days ago, it was just 51%. Change means the drought is officially over for the entire San Francisco Bay Area. A black woman who went through some pretty tough times is giving back to a women's shelter and sharing her story of pain and triumph to help others in similar circumstances. NBC Bay Area reports Lisa Mae Riley was a victim of domestic abuse, and after abusing drugs and alcohol to numb her pain, she eventually found herself homeless. After pulling herself out of poverty, she is now a peer counselor at Carmelita Women's Home.
My mission in life is to now help other people that have gone where I've gone and been where I've been and know that it's okay, that there is a different way.
She says she feels honored to do this kind of work and does not regret one single part of her life's journey. For more of these stories and international, national, state, and local news that affects the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. On social media, follow the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network and on Twitter at BlackInfoNet. I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910.
Looking for ways to get involved? The Association of Junior Leagues International is an organization of women committed to promoting volunteerism and improving communities. Find out more at ajli.org. Black news all day, every day.
The power of information. Bay Area, BIN 910. Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Speak out about what's happening in your community. Call the Black Information Network hotline at 855-500-9BIN.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with John Legend to find out which artist in music today inspires him most.
I'm a big fan of Frank Ocean's album, Channel Orange. I think it's a beautiful album, and it was inspiring as an artist to see someone with that level of creativity and virtuosity when it comes to his lyrics and his writing ability. I just felt like that was an inspiring album for me. It's just exciting to see him blossom as an artist.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more of John Legend and all your favorite artists.
Telling your story.
Decades of neglect to predominantly black communities.
Because it's our story.
The Guardian is reporting that Sly Stone will cover all aspects of his life and music in the new book on a 24/7 news network.
Dan Croft is representing the family of the victim of a fatal crowd surge at an Armory concert in New York, made for and by the black community.
This is the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 and on the iHeartRadio app. A special thanks thank you to Verizon,
a proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
When it comes to aviation history, Lou Freeman will go down as the first black chief pilot of any major U.S. airline. He also has several other firsts under his belt. Born in Texas in 1952, Lou Freeman was one of the first black students to integrate Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas, Texas. He was also the school's first black ROTC cadet commander. After high school, Freeman went on to graduate from East Texas State University and then served in the Air Force. Joining Southwest Airlines in 1980, he would become the company's first black chief pilot and the first black chief pilot of any major U.S. airline in 1992. In 2005, Lou Freeman made history once again as the pilot chosen to fly the coffin containing civil rights icon Rosa Parks to its final resting place in Detroit, Michigan. A humble man, Lou Freeman promoted diversity in the aviation industry and mentored many black and white pilots during his 36 years with Southwest Airlines. After a final flight from Dallas to Chicago, Lou Freeman retired on June 8, 2017. This is Wesson Tishon on the Black Information Network.
The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed in this commentary are those of the author and do not necessarily represent those of BIN and its founding partners and employees.
I'm James C. Harris, has something to say. You can't turn on CNN, MSNBC, or just about any of the alphabet networks without hearing a discussion of reparations. The subject is the latest thing the talking heads love to talk about, but the thing is, I don't know of any serious person coming up with any serious arguments in favor of it. Instead, it's mostly discussed by grifters and the politicians that pander to them. That was the case until now. A Florida state senator has introduced legislation that would serve as the most meaningful form of reparations that I have ever heard. It would essentially make the promoters of slavery pay by being stripped of their access to power. The Ultimate Cancel Act would require the Florida Division of Elections to cancel the filings of any political party that has ever endorsed slavery in its official party platform. Don't you love it? I do. And if, unlike me, you believe that we are suffering from systemic racism, then you should support a form of reparations that targets the very group that created and fostered that system for years, right? It only makes sense, right? There's only one problem. The Ultimate Cancel Act, well, it would eliminate the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the only party alive today that ever supported slavery, a party that was built on slavery and held men like Robert Byrd, a guy who was once the Grand Dragon of the KKK, a guy Senator Chris Dodd called the conscience of the Senate, a guy that Hillary Clinton called a mentor and a friend, and he was even eulogized by Joe Biden and Barack Hussein Obama. Perhaps the Republican Party could catch a break. The Republican Party, which founded as an abolitionist party to end systemic racism, could finally get the credit that it deserves. Well, a guy can dream, right? I'm James T. Harris for the Black Information Network. You can follow me on Twitter at James T. Harris.
I'd like more. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. There's a new bill that aims to address the lack of attention given to black people who go missing in California.
How often do you turn on the TV and you see a black child missing? Very rarely.
Senator of California's 35th District, Stephen Bradford there, Senate Bill 6783, or the Ebony Alert as it's called, would create a new alert system similar to an Amber or Silver Alert, but instead for missing black women, girls, and youth. It could be another brutal week for many of the same areas left reeling from severe weather over the weekend. At least 30 people in 7 states were killed by tornadoes, and now the National Weather Service reports the Midwest from Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois through Arkansas and Texas are at risk for a few strong tornadoes. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Of information.
Keeping you up to date on the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
Sports on the Black Information Network. As the NBA season comes to a close, the Dallas Mavericks' problems continue. The Mavs are sputtering and could miss the playoffs altogether.
This is where we are in the season and where other teams are positioned already. It kind of looks like, a bit of a to be honest with you, because we're trying to fight in to get into the playing game. It's
not the expectation that I think any of us had in that locker room.
So who's to blame for a team that has been trending in the wrong direction since they acquired troubled Kyrie Irving from the Nets via trade?
Mark Cuban is at the root of all of these problems.
Vince Goodwill on NBC's Brother from Another.
Yeah, they've had the one championship with Dirk Nowitzki, but when you look at the Porzingis trade, when you look at Dirk Nowitzki not having a lot of help, when you look at Luka Doncic not having a lot of help, the common denominator is not a Jason Kidd. It's easy to blame Kyrie Irving because where Kyrie shows up, a fire starts. Except in this case, when you traded for Kyrie Irving, you knew that you were giving up a lot of your defensive identity that helped you get to the Western Conference Finals last year. That's your fault.
The Stockton Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is expected to jump after leading the Eagles to the playoffs in back-to-back years and vastly improving under center. Jalen Hurts,
By week 1 of the 2023 NFL season, is going to be an incredibly rich man.
Jonathan Jones and Brian McFadden from CBS Sports.
This is why winning the Super Bowl is so important, because you don't know exactly how next year's team will look, especially when it comes to the finances and the business side of things.
He is going to get a contract extension. How are they going to structure that contract is going to be extremely interesting. But what I do know is that Jalen Hurts will be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles for a very long time.
I agree with you, JJ. Jalen Hurts is going to get paid. He should be paid.
Eastshore Sports at 14 and 44 past each and every hour. I'm Ray Harris on the Black Information Network.
A special thank you to 23andMe,
A proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
This is a BIN Finance Report. LinkedIn is stepping up to join in on changing racial inequality within their global network. With their over 675 million members, the company has vowed to build an anti-racist culture from within by hiring and growing employees who can represent the unrepresented. They're also partnering with 50 organizations who offer resources and equity to members wanting a fighting chance at job placement. LinkedIn will scale skill assessments for job seekers to give them the reality of competing on an even playing field. But preparation still remains the key factor. So here are tips on how to navigate services like LinkedIn to land work. Search using applicable popular terms related to your field to narrow results. Use as many search filters as you can manage. Specificity saves a lot of time and will work to help prioritize. Make sure your resume is up to date. Optimize your portfolio by focusing on grammar and keyword usage. Balance adding job details with brevity for the purpose of overall presentation, and invest in their additional features like open to work and interview prep. This is Cyrus McQueen on the Black Information Network.
Entertainment news on the Black Information Network.
Real Housewives of Atlanta fans are gearing up for the premiere of season 15. Bravo dropped a trailer, and it looks like the ladies are dealing with more drama than ever. The trailer starts off with the ladies in a calm and relaxed state while in what looks like a meditation session. Then the chaos starts as the rest of the clip shows the cast members arguing and almost coming to blows. We'll be following the revelation of new relationships as well as the painful ending of one with the announcement of a divorce. All of the previous cast members have returned, which includes Candy Burrs, Kenya Moore, Drew Sidora, Sheree Whitfield, Marlo Hampton, and Sonia Richards-Ross. We also get some appearances from a few Housewives OGs, including Cynthia Bailey, Kim Zolciak Bierman, Lisa Wu, and Deshaun Snow, who was on the first season. They are all seen in the trailer as well. The Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 15 premieres on Sunday, May 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, only on Bravo. And some more news in the legal battle Young Thug is fighting in his home state of Georgia. Rapper YS Lucci is also in jail right now, being held on allegations of felony murder. Thug and Lucci are not friendly in any way, so prosecutors working on Young Thug's RICO case are now attempting to sway Lucci to testify against him. HotNewHipHop.com shared a court document that was posted online, allegedly the paperwork for Lucci confirming that he has refused to testify against Young Thug. The two rappers have been feuding for years, but in an Instagram post Lucci shared from jail, he seemingly addresses the paperwork saying, quote, "Even in an earthquake, we wouldn't break. We solid. Free 650, end quote. Fans of Thug are saying his enemy is more solid than his own friend, rapper Gunna, who took a plea deal and was released from jail in December 2022. With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Time now for traffic and weather
on the Bay Area's BIN 910.
Heading over to the San Rafael Bridge, you're jammed 10 minutes, 580 westbound between Richmond Parkway and the Midspan. Vallejo, it's stop and go, 37 westbound between Mare Island Bridge and the lane merge. You're also riding the brakes out to Sonoma Raceway and the Bay Bridge. It's a 21-minute slowdown, 80 westbound between the foot of the maze and the metering light. You're sluggish all the way across the upper deck, and there is a high wind advisory, so drive a little extra carefully today. And you are gummed up in San Francisco about 5 minutes, 101 northbound between 3rd Street and the 101-80 split. Checking Bay Area weather, it's sunny.